うん。
Oh,
なんだ。は
you're finally here. Remember me?
覚えてますよ。何やってんの？
It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Karen appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life.
ちょっと、そう、今エクイティアと一緒にいるのか？
I know.
お
I can't believe my luck either.
お、よかっ
But
た
we're
な。
engaged and living together. We're planning to get married next spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you.
もうそれはもう行きますよ。当たり前でしょ。あとは、こちらでどんな生活を？
Oh, I used Karen's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too.
あ、ドゥリもしよう
With
か。
enough room for Dooley, of course. It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
また会えてよかった。
Of course, there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you, so you better keep moving. We'll speak again soon, my friend.
あとはこれ、エクイティア。
You're here. It's lovely to finally meet you. Galerius told me all about you.
あら、ちょっと年取ったか？はい、会えて嬉しい。
So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work. I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this.
やっぱ堅苦しかったんだね。
After religion, quite enjoyable.
こちらではどんな生活を？
Galerius and I are engaged
そうね。
and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside with room for a large family, and Dooley too, of course. It feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn, and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined. We're just so thankful for what you did for us, for all of us.
リビアの具合は？
Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere, if you'd like to ask her yourself.
そうする。はい、また会えてよかった。
See you at the wedding, I hope.
はい。ドゥリ。
Hello, I'm Dooley.
覚えていますよ。
Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place. I didn't like it.
こちらではどんな生活を？
I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after me now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth.
また会えてよかった。
Bye-bye.
はい。あとは、ちょっとこっちいっぱいいるのかな？いろんな人が。これは？ユリア！
You're the Oracle, right?
オグマと呼んでくれれ
Oh,
ばい
of
い。
course, sorry. And I never got a chance to thank you for telling
でも
Galerius
最初
how
に
to
助けたの
save
がこ
my
の人だ
life.
ったよな、そういえば。
And of course, getting me and all of us out of a terrible situation.
こちらではどんな生活を？
Oh, I barely recognize myself. I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And I'm studying
Oh.
English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was. Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable. Oh, sorry, you already know all that, of course. I'm just so excited. There's so much to see and learn and write about.
新鮮な目で世界を見られるというのはいい話だ。
I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. I hope to change that. One day.
マレオラスとクラウディアはどうなった？
Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the
精神病
Roman
院。
Empire and
あ
wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone says she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself
desu ka.
back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude?
うん、あなたがそういう思うのも当然だ。どうやら彼らを当然の報いを受けたよな。
I couldn't agree more.
うん。アウレリアはどうなった？
Ugh, someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince, and how she was going to be living the high life from now on. Even in your time, life still isn't fair. Apparently, he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called... what was it? Nigeria?
ナイジェリア。
Some people have all the luck.
へえ、なるほど。心配いらない、彼女にはきちんと因果応報が待ち受けている。そんな気がする。預言者として彼女の将来に大きな苦難が待ち受けていることが分かると。
Really? I feel better already. Thank you.
はい、また会えてよかった。
You too. If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there.
はい、ぜひそうしよう。
I hope so.
はい。さあ、まだまだいっぱいいるかな。あ、ホラティウスだ。
Hi there, I'm Horatius.
うん、いや、ホラティウス。
I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life. And
Oh,
reuniting
Sentilo.
Sentilla with us as well. So, thank you.
それはよかった。こちらではどんな生活を？
I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot. But some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military tactics from my time? Alexander the Great, Caesar, Hannibal Barca. Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking and embrace the new. As Seneca wrote, the ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but our guides.
うん、あなたが彼女と会えなくて残念だ。
Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. I grieved for a time, but that's done. In the words of Epictetus, as those who rode behind triumphant generals remind them they are mortal, remind yourself your precious one isn't one of your possessions, but something given for now, not forever.
うん。受け入れられたならよかった。
Thanks.
うん。友達のドミティウスはどうした？友達なのか？
Oh, I see what you did there. Good one. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the UFC, so he started some kind of underground
格闘家になったか。
tournament, like we had in Rome. Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts. And they say he made some good coin, killing a bunch of men like that. But his luck finally ran out, and his life along with it.
うん。
You
そ
know
う
what
か
they。say. Live by the sword, die by the sword.
うん。まあ残念だな。
Perhaps.
しょうがない。うん。ホラティウスまた会えてよかった。
And you. Farewell.
はい。でこれは、センティア。はい。
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming.
うん。また会えてよかった。
Actually, I changed my name
Oh,
to
Cynthia.
Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina emerged from the Great Temple.
へ
She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time.
あ、
But
そう、シスター
he's
になら
been
なかった
dealt
な。
with. He's... you know what? The important thing is we'll never see him again.
うん。こちらではどんな生活を？
Anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just awful out there. Barbarians everywhere.
うん。センティウスはどうなった？
He's still there, all alone.
そうなの？
The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time. Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me.
うん。そうか。少々やりすぎだとは思わないか？
I try not to think about him at all.
あ、そう。また会えてよかった。
You too. See
Hi.
you around.
さあさあ、あとは、あ、これ。 うん、ルクレーティア、はい。
You are here. It's nice to finally meet you.
はい、や、
Lucy is fine. I'm making
Lucy.
an effort to blend in, as you can see. We are all trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd never leave us alone. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them off. So,
うん、こちらではどんな生活を？
I'm studying to get into medical
おお、医
school.
学部。
As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive, when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time.
うん、会えてよかった。
You too, don't be a stranger.
はい。じゃあ次行きましょうか。まだ結構いるかな。さあさあ、奥にあと誰がいるかな。さあ、お、ジョルジュース。あら、立派な服着ちゃって。
You must be the legendary oracle.
はいはい。
It is a sincere privilege to finally make your acquaintance. I am Georgius.
はい、会うと嬉しい。
I am told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades, and for that I am most grateful.
うん、こちらではどんな生活を？
I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once heartbreaking and thrilling. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini
いい
in
です
a
ね。
villa overlooking the Azure Aegean Sea. I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won.
はい、行かせてもらおう。また会えてよかった。
You too, my friend.
はい。さらに奥には、これはファビア。
You're the one we've been waiting
はいはいはい。
for. I'm Fabia.
はい、いや、ファビア。
I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew, but I would have been crushed by that shrine for sure.
どういたしまして。
I'm just so happy to be here with you and everyone together again, even if it's just for one more night.
うん、こちらでどんな生活を？パン屋をやるのか
Well,
な？
it's not like I have to work with all the silver Karen gave me, so I just do what makes me happy. Mostly that means
あ、やっぱパンだね。
waiting for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows in yoga pants. What a time to be alive.
うん、幸せそうで何よりだ。
Thank you. I really am.
うん、会えてよかったよ。
You too.
はい、オッケー。よし。さあ、あとは、これは誰だ？あ、おお、哲学者さん。この人も戻ってきたのか。
And here you are. It's wonderful to see you again.
はい、私も会えて嬉しい。いや、彼のおかげなんだよな。
I go by Philip now. A fine
Philip.
Greek name.
いや、この人がいなかったら
I never thought I'd leave
ね
that。cave, let alone the city. And now I'm living in the 21st century. What a time to be alive. And it seems I have your catabasis to thank.
いやいやいや、もうあなたの助言ですよ。助かりましたよ、本当。こちらではどんな生活を？
I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics
Oh,
at
すごい。
Cambridge University, helping fill the
相談
odd
役
gap
か。
in their knowledge. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around enlightened minds again.
うん、今でも理想郷などないと思うか？
Aha! You remember that? I have to admit, I have been profoundly impressed by the advances humans have made these past 2 millennia. The sum total of human knowledge available at our fingertips, miraculous modern medicines, and a series of prosperous democracies. Your contemporaries have come further toward utopia than I ever thought possible, though there's still a way to go.
うん、いつの日か実現できるさ。
I hope so.
うん、はい、会えてよかった。
My sincere thanks once again.
あ、まさかこの人もできてると思わなかったね。さあさあ、あとは、これは、オクタビアさん。ああ。
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
はいはい、こんにちは。
I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming and for saving our lives.
What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it.
うん、こちらではどんな生活を？
I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. Not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor. After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people, like you helped him.
うん、素晴らしい。
Thank you.
うん、また、会えてよかった。
And you. Oh, and I hope this isn't too forward.
お
Some of us
お
are going out for a drink after this.
いいじゃないですか。
You'd like to join us?
うん、お誘いられる。ああ、いや、これはもう行くよ、行く。
Wonderful.
うん、
I'll see you
行きます
soon.
よ。いやー、募る話もありますからね。あ、これはリビアさん？おお、来てたんだ。
Greetings.
はい、元気そうで何よりだ。
Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the underworld, I never once imagined that I might end up in a place so much like Elysium.
うん、こちらではどんな生活を？
I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while, at least until I'm well enough to be independent again.
うん、最近はいい詩に出会えた？
Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth of poetry to catch up on now. I'm already up to the 19th century, and am quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe. I think I may have found a kindred spirit. Men have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence.
うん、うまい表現だ。リビアまた会えてよかったよ。
And you. Farewell, friend.
はい、どうも。さあ、あとは、これはリエちゃんのライオン像。へえ。さあ、こっちは、お前、私ちょっとこいつなんで来たんだ？お前な、ちょっとお前にはちょっと、まあいいか。いや、こいつ、この野郎。まあ、どういたしましてでしょうか。はい、どんな生活を？
I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money is now. In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice, you being the Oracle and future seer and all that, on which stocks I should invest in next.
株。
I decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend?
まあ、そうだな。うん。まあ、協力するつもりはないっていうのが、まあ、本音なんだけど、まあ、別に私はね、未来が見えるわけじゃないと。
Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius. I won't take no for an answer.
全部嘘じゃないですか。でもこいつはね、もういいんですよ。じゃあもうね、レンタルやってください。
Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same.
もうそのうちね、これは廃れますから。レンタルはね。普通に動画でね、動画配信になっちゃうから。はい、もう行くよ。この野郎。こいつなんで来たんだよ。まあいいや。じゃあ行こうか。次は、これは、あ、カバシュ、カバシュ。こいつも来たんだ。うん。地下深くにいたね。ありがとう、カバシュ。
You know my name? Oh, of course. You are an oracle. You know many things. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place and for your role in bringing us here. This world is truly wondrous.
うん、どんな生活を？
For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youth and backpack the world. It is a great adventure, and I have met many people from many cultures. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife. Now, I think it is time I had some fun.
幸運を祈る。
Thank you.
じゃあまたね。
Thank you, Oracle.
はい。カバシも来てると思わなかったな。これはなんもないか。あとはこの辺だけかな。これはルフィウス。なんか服装が変わるとやっぱ変わりますね。会えて嬉しい。ルーファス。へえ。もうこっちではリュウマチはないか？
Sorry, I'm no good with the mushy stuff.
こちらではどんな生活を？
I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Destroyed in the war, and it rebuilt itself. Good place for a fresh start. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my life yet. One adjustment at a time.
あなたが言ってたことは正しかった。あの像は住民を監視してた。
Good to know. Anyway, it was good practice for the new world.
確かにね。
Security cameras and smartphones everywhere. Got to stay vigilant.
心配しないですぐ慣れる。慣れないとね。会えてよかった。
You too.
オランダか。
Next time you're in the Netherlands. We're grateful.
はい。そしたら、バージルさん。
It's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you.
会えて嬉しい。
I wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there. And for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. He may come off a little gruff, but once you get past that, he's a lovely fellow.
どんな生活を？
I'm studying to be an architect again, and living with Rufus in our beautiful flat in Rotterdam. Just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets, full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are.
はい、また会えて、よかった。
You too, as Rufus said in his own laconic way. If you're ever in the Netherlands, we'd love to show you around. It's the least we could do.
はい、じゃあお願いしようかな。OK、はい。そしたら、これは、見知らない、なんだ？
Hello there.
センティラ。
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name.
ガブリエラさんね。怪物って？
You didn't hear? My adoptive father, Sentius, locked me up in the system to stop me from escaping.
そう、不死産行かなかったんだよね。
After he drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me, and that monster got what was coming to him.
なるほど。すまない、知らなかった。
Don't worry, nobody did.
ごめんね。こちらではどんな生活を？
I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even
Oh,
more
Ulpiusと一緒か。
wonderful than I dreamed it would be. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us. You can try some of our very own wine.
ぜひそうしよう。はい、会えてよかった。
Thanks. You too.
ってことは隣にいるのがルピウスかな？
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Ulpius.
はい、会えてよかった。
I understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to save my life. The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible mistake. I'll be forever in your debt.
こちらではどんな生活を？
I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of. It'll be a little while before we know what we're doing, but every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope and missed out on all of this? So we're living each day to the fullest. And we end them all the same way, sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now, and watching the sunset over the rolling hillside. And I couldn't be happier.
幸せだ、何よりだ。
Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you.
うん、会えてよかった。
You too.
はい、OK。こんなもんか？だな。じゃあ行くか。あとは、あるにあるだけかな。こっちは、誰もいないよな、特にな。OK。よし。じゃあ行こうか。
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
あと一人。後ろ。
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long time.
もしかして、ああ。
Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina,
あ
former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention.
いやー、いつもね、支えてくれてたので、これでそうだね。あなたがずっと支えていたのか。
Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only
そういうことか。
windows in which I could speak to you without being detected.
そう、ヒントがね、ちょっとなんか少なかったもんね。あなたはできる限りのことをしてくれてありがとう。あなたが時の螺旋を生み出したのか？
I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath.
うん、プルートはあの後どうした？
I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way.
うん、カロンは？
Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld.
おお、そうなんだ。
Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. I imagine we all will, one day.
うん、会えてとても光栄だ。
And you, although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city?
うん、もちろん。
Good, because they remember.
嘘、そうなんだ。
Well done, my friend.
おお。
Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld in return, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
わあ、この人たち全員そうなんだ。わあ。わあ、これで終わりか。いやー。はい、というわけで忘れられた都市、これにて終了となりましたね。いや、結構大変だったかな。動画上はね、結構カットしてるところもあると思うんだけど、結構ね、行き詰まっちゃっててね、どうしようってね、うろうろしてたね、時間もあったんで、まあちょっと終わってとりあえずほっとしてるといったところですけど、まあちょっとエンディングはね、ちょっと良かったな。特に一番最後ね、みんなから拍手わーってもらったシーンは、ちょっとゾワッとしちゃいましたね。いやー、ちょっといろいろ大変でしたけど、まあ非常に面白かったかな。まあこのゲームやってよかったかなと思っておりますね。はい、ではね、ここまでどうもご視聴ありがとうございました。また次回もね、何らかの動画でお会いできたらと思います。それまで、おさらば。